Hey everyone, Chris here, and can you believe it? We finally know more about the sequel to Breath of the Wild. But even after about a minute and a half of new footage, the game is still such a mystery. There's magical arms, floating islands, heck, even two completely different looking Links. So let's dive into 9 mysterious details that we noticed in the new trailer, and what they could possibly mean. Number 1, there is something up with the Sky World. We already knew the sequel would reuse Breath of the Wild's map, and sure enough, certain shots show a kingdom that's nearly identical to the one we explored in that game, minus a few small differences such as these odd ruins in the background and the supposed absence of shrines, towers, temples, and divine beasts. Speaking of, yeah, where are they? But while Hyrule does look familiar, that's only the case some of the time, as the rest of the trailer takes place above the surface, showing a completely different looking world with Link traveling amongst vast islands in the sky, one of which floats right above the Thundra Plateau. Now, from what we can tell, these didn't just rise up from Breath of the Wild's map. These appear to be their own unique locations that didn't exist in the previous game. So where did they come from? How can you access them? Why can't you see these islands in the sky during other parts of the trailer on the surface? They could just be super high up, but there is another mystery that is worth considering. Number 2, time seems to be a factor, but to what extent? A few peculiar moments in the trailer seem to play with time, such as this drop of water falling in reverse, or the new stasis mechanic that appears to rewind time for the selected object, in this case sending a spiked ball back up the hill. So cool! With that in mind, the sudden appearance of these massive floating islands makes us wonder if Hyrule actually exists not in the present, but in the past or future. Though the past would be more fitting, as these floating vistas would fit perfectly in the world of Skyward Sword. But when it comes to the sky versus the surface, there is one specific distinction that we cannot ignore. Number 3, Link's appearance changes. But why? The long hair, the rugged clothes? I gotta say, it suits him nicely. But strangely, he only has this look during scenes where he is in the sky. When we see him back on the surface, he looks the same as in the first game, minus the weird arm thing, but more on that in a second. This could lend some more weight to the time travel theory, with Link's appearance changing between times like in Ocarina of Time. But mysteriously, we never see this Link's face, which has led some to speculate that it could be another character, perhaps Zelda, though that seems unlikely given that the arm appears to be the same. But could there be something different about his face to warrant hiding it? In any case, the fact that these two different looks are seemingly tied to the different environments is odd. On the topic of Link's altered appearance, his glider also has new straps which flow in the wind. This is an interesting touch, and we can't help but wonder if it might suggest that the wind will play a role in air travel, with the straps helping you gauge the wind's direction perhaps? Or maybe it's just a neat detail. Number 4, so Zelda might not be the character in the sky, but we're still left to wonder what happened to her. One of the most speculated elements of Breath of the Wild 2 has been that Princess Zelda will play a more prominent role, perhaps even as a playable character. This trailer doesn't necessarily disprove that, but it certainly makes us wonder. After all, the last we see of the princess is her falling down this humongous pit. Hopefully she's okay. Number 5, who is this new sky creature, and are they friendly? The trailer gives us a quick glimpse at a creature who appears to be living in the sky. Could this possibly be a new enemy type? The symbol on their chest makes us wonder if there's more to it than that. Personally, I only see a broomstick, but that might just be me. Interestingly, the creature's arms also vaguely resemble the eye of the Sheikah symbol, and they also have these egg-like structures on their shoulders, which are identical to the ones along the pathway in the background. Considering this, we have to wonder what this creature is here for. Perhaps they're guarding something. Number 6 is Link's arm, the new Sheikah Slate. In the trailer, 2 different energy sources corrupt Link's right arm. The malice in the opening scene, and the greenish energy later on. We believe the purpose of the latter could be to heal Link's arm after being infected with the malice. After all, he appears to be laying down, perhaps even unconscious when that is happening. And if you look closely in the very next shot, you can see him use his right hand rather than the Sheikah Slate to activate stasis, which makes us believe this transformation will give Link new abilities, essentially turning his right arm into the new Sheikah Slate. As a side note, we also see him use a new dragon head weapon to shoot fire, and if you look closely, the weapon is actually attached to his shield, which he operates using his left arm. Dual wielding is finally here! On a similar point, Link's weapons lead to another potential theory, which is... Number 7, does the Triforce play a role this time around? In addition to Link's long hair and rugged clothes when he's in the sky, he also has a brand new shield. The artwork on it displays a Sheikah symbol and 7 triangles, 3 of which glow with a golden hue. This makes us wonder, could these possibly represent the Triforce pieces, 3 of which Link has collected with 4 more to go? Much like the Triforce quest in the Wind Waker? Chances are this is simply just the artwork of the shield, but if the theory is true, it would imply a prominent role of the Triforce in the game, which would be an awesome stark contrast to its minimal role in Breath of the Wild. Number 8, ground enemies get an upgrade. It looks like the ground enemies are upgrading their headwear, as the Bokoblins all have new horns and Moblins appear to have some kind of new head protection as well. One theory is that this could be a result of the villain awakening, with the increase in malice causing the Moblins and Bokoblins and perhaps other enemies to grow these new upgraded features. A small touch, but it's fun to see the ground enemies getting some new upgrades. Lastly, number 9. Who is the villain? Now this might not be a specific detail, but it is still a huge unanswered question. We still have no idea who the villain is, and while most might assume it's Ganondorf, or some even Demise, we don't know for sure. The new trailer only gave us one new shot of them, which seemingly shows them embracing the spread of malice after being awakened. We also don't know what their plan is or how they'll pose a threat against Link on his quest. There are many unknown things about the sequel to Breath of the Wild, but the villain is one of the ones that I look forward to learning more about the most. So there you have it, some of the biggest mysteries and unanswered questions from the new Breath of the Wild sequel trailer. Do you have any theories or ideas about what we mentioned here? Let us know down below. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to GameXplain for more on Breath of the Wild sequel and other things gaming too. Check out the videos on the right for more content you might be interested in, and until next time, bye.